Gregg Popovich secured his 24th straight season with a winning record in 2019. He has league-wide respect for his coaching experience. His 5 NBA titles made him tied with Pat Riley and John Kundla for the third most league championships as a coach. Many fans feel he is a better coach than Phil Jackson, who boasts 11 NBA titles and the best win ratio for anyone who has trained more than 500 games. So, who is the better coach? Welcome to B-Ball TV YouTube channel. So who's the best G-coach of the league, Pop or Phil? Make sure to watch till the end to find out. For 24 straight years, all Gregg Popovich has done was winning. After a 17-47 record in his debut season as head coach, Popovich brought the San Antonio Spurs to the NBA's envy, running an elite organization with an uncompromising vision of team basketball. In an era of hero ball, Popovich maximized underappreciated gems like Tony Parker, Manu Ginobili, and Bruce Bowen, and consistently topped superior talent. The beauty of Pop is that he could change on the fly. He won a championship giving the ball to Tim Duncan and David Robinson. He used Park and Ginobili to perfection in the heavy pick and roll era to win a title. He rode Kawhi Leonard and a group of shooters during the current three-point heavy period. Jackson ran the triangle offense, which was Tex Winter's work, and struggled to adapt when the league evolved. Popovich required less talent further than Phil Jackson. Jackson needed 4 players who were GOATs of their era to win in their primes. Pop only needed 1 in Duncan. That's why he's the greatest. But there's a word that wins any argument in sports: scoreboard. Phil Jackson won the most NBA championships ever, period. If titles are the accurate measure of greatness, he is accurately the best. It's one thing to hold a talent, but it's tough to get them to gel. Coaches have great teams and have done nothing with them. Del Harris had the Kobe Bryant-Shaquille O'Neal blend and couldn't get to the NBA Finals. Doug Collins had Michael Jordan, but couldn't reach the championship round. Jackson got the puzzle together and had success. People love to imagine Pop would have done more with Jackson's rosters. Still, there's no way to know if he could deal with mega egos Jackson so carefully balanced. Jackson showed that he was the best every year and has the titles to prove it. Well, it's still hard to say who's the best, judging by statistics only. What if we ask people who were coached by these legendaries? Maybe they could help us decide. Who can answer the question better than Robert Horry, who was coached by both? It's tough to have a more glorious NBA career than the one Robert Horry enjoyed. He played with 3 of the best big men of all time, Tim Duncan, Hakeem Olajuwon, and Shaquille O'Neal, but he also spent that time under GOAT coaches. San Antonio Spurs leader Gregg Popovich and ex-Los Angeles Lakers coach Phil Jackson helped Horry win 7 career titles. Playing a total of 12 seasons under the legendary coaches, Big Shot Bob got to know both coaches well to succeed as a part of both teams. While Phil Jackson has a distinct edge over Popovich in championships won, Pop's talent to connect with his players has been confirmed to be a one-of-a-kind quality. Today, Robert Horry reveals some insights into Jackson and Popovich's difference. Phil wouldn't really talk to you. He would just come and chit-chat about basketball, saying, "Read the book that I gave to you as a Christmas present." In contrast, as Spurs fans are well aware, Popovich has always been interested in his players as people first and foremost. Robert agreed with that statement. Pop would come and talk to you, invite you to dinner, buy you a glass of wine. Pop would truly try to get to know you. When you see how players across the league always do nothing but admire Popovich, it's easy to see how his human connection way to coaching has made him so victorious. Horry revealed a story when Coach Pop's kind-hearted nature touched him. "I remember when my daughter was sick and we were doing a training camp. I left and went home, but then I came back. Pop was like, 'What are you doing here? Is she in the hospital now?' I was like, 'No.' He said, 'Get the hell out of here. I don't want to see your face here until she's home and she's healthy on 100%. I'm like, "What?" He sent me back home. Horry showed up in his career's most significant moments, including the moment he had a series-shifting Game 5 on the 2005 NBA Finals for the Spurs. Remembering that he played for guys like Rudy Tomjanovich and Phil Jackson, it's good to hear about the lasting memories Coach Popovich could give him throughout his time in the Alamo City. Horry sums up, "I don't believe there's a coach out there that would do these soulful things. He did that before the social media era and before anybody would know about the kindness he showed. It was just a special feeling." When you look at surrounding coaches, cigar and all, Red Auerbach was the boss with the Boston Celtics. Phil Jackson ran a steady ship with both the Chicago Bulls and the Los Angeles Lakers. Is Pop regarded in the same manner? Of a total of 7 NBA championships, Horry won 2 titles with Popovich and the Spurs, and 3 as a Laker with Jackson. Who's the most demanding coach to play under? Robert Horry can answer. The hardest coach was surely Pop. He was one of those guys who'll have a million plays. So when I'm like, what are we doing? We've got a million tactics, and he'll run a tactic and then won't rerun it until 5 games later. Brutally honest, his answers to life's most straightforward questions might be your favorite icing on your favorite cake. Popovich had a specific opinion about idols. That's what he said. I try not to idolize all the people. I believe that all idols have feet of clay. I think that particularly in our country, we tend to mythologize people. So I look to people I know personally, whether that's a coach or teacher, a family member, or somebody I respect because I know them. But people I'm not aware of that have been mythologized, I don't know them that much. But Coach Pop still adds, from my perspective, Thomas Jefferson was a good guy. He was a slave owner. See an irony here? You can make that same analogy with many other people who have been idolized. They all have flaws, issues, so I am up for people that I know. So the final question, how different are Phil Jackson and Gregg Popovich? Horry continues. Phil and Pop were so similar that they stressed defense, and they enjoyed running their systems to a T. Even though Phil had more athletic guys wherever he could venture off from running a system, Pop had many robots that would run that system and lull you to sleep. The last thing you know, they got a bucket. Surely, Phil had Kobe and MJ who could invent their own shots, and that made his system a lot better. Sure, you can say that's only one side of the medal, one opinion. Let's hear other NBA stars sharing their opinion. What do we have at the moment? Currently the longest tenured coach in the NBA, Gregg Popovich is a part of the Spurs organization since 1988. Before being the Spurs head coach, he worked as a lead assistant and vice president of basketball operations. He became a head coach after Larry Brown's exit in 1996. With effective leadership, Gregg Popovich coached David Robinson until he retired in 2003 and gave the torch to Tim Duncan, Manu Ginobili, and Tony Parker. He would then hand over the Alamo keys to Kawhi Leonard before he silently demanded his exit to the NBA's wide-open Eastern Conference. With Leonard and Parker gone, the keys now belong to DeMar DeRozan and LaMarcus Aldridge. Detroit Pistons assistant GM Malik Rose got something to say. He earned respect from former players. He's not scared to say what he believes and stand by it. Retired NBA champ Samaki Walker continues. He can keep egos in check by running a fair system that any professional athlete can respect. Speedy Claxton says, you know where you stand with Pop. Although Phil Jackson is considered by many as the main rival of Gregg Popovich, it seems that today he got the second place only. But what do you think? Gregg Popovich or Phil Jackson? Maybe you got someone else on the top of your list. And how do you like our video? Let us know in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you don't miss an upload and you can enjoy the excellent content we send your way.